Hey, how's it going, guys? Today we're gonna talk about something different, and this is more gaming related than animation related. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and let's just get started. So the topic I wanted to talk about, as you can read from title, is the fact that me personally, I'm one of those gamers who doesn't care about realism. I feel like with video games nowadays especially, I feel like realism has been going a bit overboard, to be honest. Now, I understand the logic behind trying to make the games look realistic and such, because, you know, next gen gaming, we need to evolve, things need to be evolved, but I feel like with the problem with this whole realism thing, I feel like nowadays gamers forget what are video games supposed to be, and I actually feel like I talked about this topic before on one of my other gaming related videos that I did previously, I think a few months ago, but with this one I feel like I wanted to talk brief history how I was introduced to video games. Now, first off, when I first time was introduced to video games, it was not because of PS2. PS2 was actually the very first gaming system that I owned personally, but the console that originally introduced me to gaming was Sega Genesis. Sega Genesis was actually one of my friend's consoles not a few years back, and I really enjoyed playing a lot of Sega Genesis games like Echo the Dolphin, the Flintstones, and even Tiny Toon Adventures. And yeah, it was really fun and archaic. Hell, I even went up far as, you know, to buy the Sega Mega Drives collection. I think that is pronounced right. Yeah, Mega Drive Ultimate Collection. Man, that is mouthful. But with this game, I actually wanted to, you know, experience some of the retro games I really missed out on the past, and I do still enjoy playing some of the games, even though I'm not very good at playing these games, like Streets of Rage, Sonic the Hedgehog, Echo the Dolphin, and even Puyo Puyo. Or, I don't know, Robotnik's thing, I forgot, but it is really cool that Sega went out of their way to actually make a collection like this. I don't know if Sonic and Knuckles actually is on PlayStation Store. I might check it out, because this game does not, even though this game includes Sonic the Hedgehog 3, it does not include Sonic and Knuckles. And I watched a video not too long ago, and they said, and the developers of this said they couldn't include Sonic and Knuckles in the game because otherwise they couldn't add more games into the Mega Drive collection. So it is a bit understandable, a small price to pay, to be honest. But it is really cool to enjoy some of the retro games, and even though the graphics look 16-bit or whatever, it's like, I don't care. I want to have fun. Now, of course, some people might think I'm a misogynist, I hate next-gen gaming or whatever, I hate the fact that games look good, and it's not entirely true. I actually own a lot of, you know, some people might call it last-gen games, because I don't own a PS4, 2, I don't have a job to actually earn money to buy a PS4, and 3, well, YouTube has kind of been shitty, but yeah, but I have been enjoying some of the games I played on PlayStation 3 that have good graphics, but at the same time has a good gameplay. GTA 4, Tekken Tag Tournament 2, my second favorite game in the Tekken game next to Tekken 5, Burnout Paradise, Batman Arkham City. Even though I own this on my laptop, I can't even run it on my laptop because my laptop is not strong enough to run this game, so I decided to buy this on console. Infamous, the first one, not the second son of Infamous 2. I really actually want to play the sequel. And Red Dead Redemption. And I enjoy a lot of these games because even though these games have you know, don't have really high resolution of graphics, one of the core essentials that these games, even on the PS3 days and even Xbox 360 days, is the fact that they do not forget that they're still video games. They're still like playing video games. Some people say that the first Infamous game plays like a PS2 game. Now I understand the complaint of it, but I feel like it's a good thing because I have so much fun playing this game, and when I play the good call, I feel like I'm a hero. When I'm playing evil call, I have like this ultimate power to come get me, you fuckers. Like, this is kind of the feeling I really miss on video games, because nowadays with video games, my biggest issue I have is the fact that a lot of games focus more on realism, or in this case, shit, I forgot where I was going with this.
A few moments later.
Or, you know, cinematic experience. And a lot of games, and I feel like the game that really kind of pushed that envelope up, you know, especially on the PlayStation console, on PS4, is none other than The Last of Us. Now, don't get me wrong, I love The Last of Us. It has really cool gameplay, it has really intense moments, it sometimes can be fucking terrifying, especially with the infected, especially when they deal with the clickers and bloaters. And the story is really good, but I would not exactly say this game is perfect. Like, for example, the inclusion of multiplayer, I feel like it's kind of unnecessary, considering that the single player experience is a bit more enjoyable than the multiplayer. Not to mention that multiplayer is, I feel like, it's shut down on the PS3. So if you want to play the multiplayer for this game, I would recommend playing this on PS4. But with this whole The Last of Us praise, getting this game getting 10 out of 10s or whatever, it's like it pushes Sony to create more games like this. Like, for example, God of War on PS4 play is like The Last of Us. Red Dead Redemption 2, kind of like The Last of Us. It's like I want to play a goddamn game, not a movie. And some people say I'm kind of biased by this, but it's not like I hate, like I said, I don't hate The Last of Us. I really enjoyed the game, the Naughty Dog games. I feel like they're really good developers that always focus on single player games and also good gaming experiences. Hell, I still played Crash Bandicoot on PS3 and the original Crash Bandicoot games on PS3. So yeah, and I even bought some HD collections for PS2 games. I will show them to you. And the reason why I love playing these games, even over and over, like Ratchet and Clank, God of War, Metal Gear Solid 3, Devil May Cry, and so forth, is the fact that even though the games have higher resolution or better FPS, you know, the games run better on the PS3 than they ran on PS2. I'm sorry, I just ate McDonald's. Fuck. But what I liked about these games is the fact that they didn't completely change the graphics. You don't feel the need to change the graphics all the way up. Like, you feel like you're being alienated when you play these games. Some people say it's a bad thing because they didn't up the graphics, but I feel like it's like, who cares? I don't really care because I want to enjoy games. Like, for example, Sonic Mania, a game that came out like a year ago or 2 years ago, I forgot. But the game played like the old school Sonic game, and a lot of people really enjoyed it. It became one of the best selling games, but instead of winning like Game of the Year award, Red Dead Redemption 2 wins a Game of the Year award, or Spider-Man PS4 wins a Game of the Year award because, you know, graphics over, you know, fun and archaic gameplay. Like, what the hell, guys? Now, I understand about graphics and everything, but for me it's like they need to balance out with the whole graphics and gameplay stuff. Like, for like I still enjoy playing PS2 games. That's why you see the whole collection of my PS2 games and even PS1 games. Even though it's not a lot, I still enjoy these kind of games. For example, I still enjoy Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, Resident Evil 4, and even Ratchet Gladiator. And one of the reasons why I enjoy these games is because it's not just about the graphics or big storytelling or whatever. It's also about the gameplay, the whole fun aspect of a video game, the gameplay. And the more time moves on, I feel like more and more people forget what video games are about. Like, for example, I remember watching a video about teens reacting to Spyro the Dragon. They compared to the Spyro the Ignited trilogy. It just came out on PS4 and even Xbox One for some reason. But the Spyro the Ignited trilogy, one thing I'm glad about, the Crash Bandicoot and Spyro the Dragon being remastered on next-gen systems is the fact that newer next-gen gamers or younger generation of gamers could enjoy the classics we enjoyed as kids. But at the same time, when the teens or college kids react to the original games and the new ones, it's like the new ones are better, the old ones are trash. Now, I understand people have different opinions, but I feel like some people who actually grew up with the originals, they do notice some flaws for these games, and nowadays criticism is just like being brushed off like it's complete trash. But it's kind of wrong at the same time, because think about it with this logic, without the original Crash Bandicoot or Spyro the Dragon, we never could have gotten the insane or ignited trilogies of Spyro and Crash at all. So without these original properties that are made by really famous developers, Naughty Dog and Insomnia Games, well, we won't have these remasters. Now, with the remasters, for example, for PS4, I feel like they felt a bit... When they started off remastering some games on PS4, I felt like they completely were off. Like, for example, The Last of Us. The Last of Us came out in like 2013 or 2014. I forgot when this came out, but Last of Us came out on the original on PS3, and it shows how much the system could pull off, good graphics. Even though this game didn't start this, but God of War 3 did. But then 1 year later, Sony for some reason decided to remaster this on PS4. Now I am happy that PS4 gamers could enjoy The Last of Us like the PS3 gamers do, but like, Jesus Christ, the game came out 1 year ago. Like, remastering the same fucking game with better resolution stuff, it kind of felt pointless. Like, I feel like I understand this logic. Like, Sony just basically abandons backwards capability. PS3 still runs PS1 games on PS3 systems can run PS1 games, but even though they removed PS2 backwards capability, but you still can play all PS1 games on PS3. I never tested it out because I never bought a PS1 game. I might try to buy Gran Turismo 2 on Amazon, maybe. We shall see. But I want to try it out. Maybe Dino Crisis, because me and my friend actually played the living shit out of Dino Crisis 2, even though we did not know how to play the damn game. I think my friend never understood how to play Resident Evil 2. Yeah, that game gave me fucking nightmares, but not anymore. Even though I am scared playing horror games, I still can play them. I was not like I was when I was younger. I'm super afraid of games. But with the whole realism thing, I feel like a lot of gaming genres are being really brushed off, or developers just don't try anymore. For example, racing games, I feel like with racing games they feel they feel like getting abandoned by gaming developers, and it is because they focus too much on realism rather than the actual gameplay or the fun of the game. Like for example, Burnout 3 or even Burnout Paradise, for example, are really well-made games because they focus on archaic, destructive kind of type of gameplay. It doesn't focus on goddamn realism because it focuses more on the gameplay aspect of the gameplay. Even though Burnout Paradise graphics look amazing, it still feels like a video game. It still understands what Burnout is about. But with Need for Speed games, it's like focus more on realism and add some Burnout type of engine in it, and it feels less like a Need for Speed games. As the way the Need for Speed games are going on, they feel less like Need for Speed games, or more like the recycled Fast and Furious movies instead. No disrespect to Fast and Furious, by the way. Sonic, for example, has been going really shallow for its games. Some newer games are doing alright, some newer games that don't really do alright, but even so, the people behind the Sonic game still try to make a video game, not overarching story with walking for 20 minutes without nothing happening, and then boom, enemy shows up after 20 minutes. And like, it's not like I completely. If people enjoy games that have like these overarching stories, walking simulations, and more walking, then good for you. But I feel like it is really kind of distracting of what video games are about. Like, if you guys can see in the you guys saw my library of some of the games that showed up, and I feel like with video games they need to focus less on realism and more on the gameplay aspect of the games. I still enjoy the original Spyro trilogy on PS3, even though they have PS1 graphics, they have low resolution graphics. Some of the camera angles feel a bit off. Rotating the camera with rotating the camera with L1 and R1. Oh my god, I'm getting dehydrated again. And with the controller, and a lot of people hated the PS3 controller because of triggers, but I don't mind them that much. Well, except when I play too long racing games, but that's besides the point. But I feel like with the video games, it's like they focus less on gaming and gameplay aspect of the games, rather than instead of they focus on realism and telling a good story like a movie. Now, I feel like this whole movie stuff started off with Metal Gear Solid series. I still enjoy Metal Gear Solid as it is, but with Metal Gear Solid, it's still understood that even after the cutscenes, you're still playing a video game. Kojima still wants to make a game, but with the whole... And you can still skip cutscenes if you want. If you're playing the games like 100 times and want to just enjoy the game as a game, then you can skip cutscenes. But nowadays with games, you can barely skip cutscenes. Like, what the hell, guys? I want to enjoy a game, not watch a movie. Oh boy, I'm sorry, I'm getting dehydrated. Okay, I'm going. Barely. Fuck. I really need to get a new microphone. Jesus Christ, I'm saying that way too much. But with the gaming industry as a whole, I feel like it feels like more games focus on realism rather than gameplay. Now, some people might hate me for this because I want to enjoy games as video games, but what do you guys think about this? Like, do you feel like, and don't get me started with the whole microtransactions thing and whatever. That's a topic for another day. But what do you guys think of my reasons of realism in gaming? Do you agree with some of the points I made or not, or do you still want to have games that have focused more on realism and less on gameplay? I don't know, but I feel like with the whole Sucker Punch's latest game they're making about the samurai. I feel like they've shifted off the focus of gameplay, just like what they did with the Sly Cooper series and Infamous games, and they more try to make the games more cinematic or something, and not that. And and Kojima's Death Stranding is also trying the same thing. I feel like I fear so. So yeah. But still, what do you guys think of my thoughts on gaming? Do you agree with me? Do you don't agree with me? Let me know in the comments, and like this video if you actually enjoyed this video, because I really wanted to talk about this topic, and I feel like it needed to be addressed, because for me it's more about gameplay than realism, and I want to play a game that is enjoyable, but at the same time it's also a very good game. You can add stories in games if you want, as long as the stories in the games are good. For example, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas has a really good story, and I never beat the story mode in this game. Some people say, I beat it in 2 days with cheats, but I try to beat this. I've tried to be fair. I try to have myself a challenge. I want to beat this game fairly, and with the new copy I have for San Andreas, I really do hope I will be able to beat this motherfucker once and for all. So yeah. It's like God saved me when I tried to beat San Andreas, but yeah, I'm sorry, but yeah, what do you guys think about my topic? Let me know in the comments, like this video, and share this video with others if you want to spread more the word about graphics, gameplay over realism or something like that. And yeah, this is Salmon with 7 signing off, and if you guys want to subscribe, go ahead. So yeah, see ya.